Have you ever wondered how good is the dungeon master you are playing with? Or if you are a DM, have you ever asked yourself, how good am I? Hi everyone, CJ here, back with another D&D video. Last time I did a video on how to be a high-level D&D player. So naturally, I've got to follow it up with how to be a high-level dungeon master. Just to be clear, I'm not going to tell you how to become RPG gods like Matt Mercer or Chris Perkins, because rather than becoming a second-rate imitation, I'd say you're better off becoming a first-rate you, and develop your own DMing style. But to be fair, there is no shame in starting your journey by imitating the people you admire. I copied my own DM until I gained enough confidence to develop my own style. People smarter than me have said, even journeys of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. I am paraphrasing here, but it is true that you can't become perfect overnight. Oh, by the way, just a quick tangent. In case you guys have been wondering where I've been, I have been working on a new channel called Cool History Bros. In that channel, we explore myths, legends, and histories from Asia and other parts of the world. I have just released a video about the owner of the sword that defied time. A 2,500 years old bronze sword that was discovered in 1965. Miraculously, this ancient sword was discovered without a single speck of tarnish on it. But what's even more amazing than the sword is the owner. He defeated Sun Tzu's army and that was just him warming up. So if you're a history fan, be sure to check it out after this video. Okay, enough with the tangent. Let's get back to the main topic. Top-level dungeon masters possesses certain traits, which I categorize into these elements: gameplay, storytelling, etiquette. These are the same elements for D&D players, but there is one more element that's reserved for the DM, a hidden element. I will tell you why I hide it when we get there. And there is also another variable, the DM's energy bar, which both the players and DMs will need to keep their eyes on. I identified these traits through my years of experience as both game master and player. I DM most of the time, but I've always made the point to find the opportunities to play, so that I can compare my own style with other people, and perhaps learn from them. I play with DMs who have played since the first edition to absolutely new DM who is doing it for the first time. I think that DMs who don't play, especially those who constantly humble brag about being a forever DM, are in danger of losing touch and get stuck with bad habits and playstyles that may no longer be relevant. But then again, these are just my personal opinion. Feel free to disagree in the comment if you are inclined to. Anyway, here are the gameplay related traits you should possess or develop to level up. These traits are not arranged in a particular order, because different people develop them in different order as well. But I have to say, you won't get anywhere if you don't even know the rules. So number 1, know the rules. But you don't have to know everything, or you will never start a game. Just knowing enough to run the session is perfectly fine. And expect that you will make mistakes. So have the rulebook handy. If you've made a mistake and can't find the rules, just make a judgment call and promise to revert to the proper rule when you've got the opportunity to review it. Then, develop the instinct for game pacing or framing. This is when you start to create a bit of artistry with your knowledge of the rules. You should develop a good sense for encounter design, not just combat encounter but also exploration and social encounters too. This includes choice framing. For example, instead of just letting your players roll to eavesdrop, maybe you can give them partial information, and to get the rest of the information, they can sneak closer, or if they are perceptive enough, find a cup to use it to overhear through the wall. See the difference there? One is just a straight gamble with the dice, the other one has meaningful choices with different types of risks. Sneak in and risk discovery, or miss the information completely if they couldn't find the tool that could aid them. Next up, learn from the player's playstyle. D&D's strength over video games is that the difficulty can be tailor-made to the players and be adjusted on the fly. great DMs should be able to leverage those advantages and challenge their players. Once they have mastered the rules, they should learn to bend them and create new ones by homebrewing. Good homebrew can provide interesting new experiences for the players. But most importantly, don't forget to tell a story, even with the gameplay. In some games, I find that the story stops completely when the combat starts, and it's only resumed when the combat ends. That's actually a really big missed opportunity. Combat is exactly where the story should happen. The existence of so many battle shonen series like Dragon Ball Z and the popularity of WWE just proves it. Likewise, in storytelling, don't railroad too much. Yes, it is a necessary evil for novice players who doesn't know how to end conversations. But try to give your players agency whenever possible, because it is the basis for collaborative storytelling. Then do some world building. It makes the game setting more immersive. It gives the players a context to plan their future action, and it also helps the DM to come up with new materials on the fly. Because it is easier to build new narratives on top of an existing solid foundation. Take care to not info dump though. The world you build should enhance the experience and not become a hurdle that they have to jump over to enjoy the campaign. While having a solid setting is helpful, never forget that the players are there because they want to play their character. So make room for some collaborative storytelling. Assist your players to create their character arc and help them tell their story or the group's story with inter-character relationships. But of course, nobody wants to experience a story they already know the ending to. So great DMs should gain the players' trust and get them to give you the ingredients you need to develop a compelling story, like character backgrounds or a wish list for their general character arcs. Players love to be surprised, but don't just subvert expectations just for the sake of it, because we know how it turned out. Etiquette. These are just basic stuff. The rules that apply to your players should also apply to you. Please don't LARP a barbarian around the table. Look after your own hygiene, follow the schedule, and don't get distracted. It's bad enough that some players can't stop looking at their phone. But if you are the DM and you are doing this, I get to steal your dice. No, don't do this. I'm just kidding. But you have been warned. A couple of things that are unique to DMs is the need to prepare and setting boundaries. DMs, due to the nature of their roles, have to prepare for the session. Some Rain Man types out there may not have to prepare at all, but most people do. DMs and players have different standards of responsibility. So if you have decided to take up the mantle, then you should live up to it. Being the responsible person, DMs should also be able to set boundaries. If the group want to have a family-friendly game, then set up ground rules. If you want to have a campaign with lots of ribald adult humors, then don't let children join the group. It's actually very simple. Just have some social awareness. Though I know it's hard for some of you. Now, on the topic of responsibility, lots of players often expect the Dungeon Master to be the adult in the room and lay tons of other undue responsibilities onto them. I think this is unfair and can become unhealthy really fast. Unless of course, you are literally the only adult in the room. But in most cases, when you are playing with other adults or young adults, everyone around the table have equal responsibility in entertaining each other and keep the group together. As I've said, there are hidden traits that make up a high-level DM. I hide these traits not because they are some special traits that only the gifted few can have. Anyone can develop these traits, but it is unfair to expect that only the DM should bear this responsibility. DMs with great leadership skill can manage intergroup conflict and can make the right executive call to bring the campaign towards a certain direction. This can also be extended to scheduling and other aspects of the game, including ejecting disruptive players. But to be honest, this is everyone's responsibility. Your DM isn't your mom. Be responsible for yourself, please. It is unfortunate that these tasks often fall onto the DM's lap in real life. So if your DM is doing all these, then you should appreciate them more. The DM already does a lot of work to prepare for the game. Anything else is extra. If they can do voices, cosplay, or create some crafts for you, then great. You're getting something extra. But to be honest, you are there to entertain each other. The DM isn't your court jester, unless that's what he's paid to do, of course. Logistics. Bring extra character sheets, spare dice, minis, pens, papers, and whatever else you need to prevent unprepared players from bogging down the game. Basically, the DM is picking up the slack for the players' tardiness. That's why you often see DMs carrying so many things to a session. Again, don't take this for granted. Counselor. Sometimes personal issues bubble up into a game, and it affects everyone's fun. Now guess, who's expected to sort this out? Lay down on the couch, therapy is in session. Yeah, we really just want to play the game and have fun. Don't make us your psychologists. The last entry here is something really important, but it can only be achieved through cooperation with the players. Appreciate them. DMs can't appreciate the players if they are not worth appreciating. Obviously, though I've had my fair share of terrible groups, the overwhelming number of groups I played with are excellent people. So despite often having to put in more work than the players, DMs should also appreciate the players for their time, loyalty, and efforts they've put in to create a fun environment for everyone. DMs, remember this, you are not the king of the table. Think about your players' experience too. For example, I know that some of you DMs out there get your big PP energy by running tables with enormously large number of players, like 10 or 12 players at once. I used to be guilty of this myself. But think about it. Are you maximizing your players' fun or just stroking your own ego? The more players there are, the less attention that you can spare for each of them. Sure, in some situation, you can't help it. If you are part of a small school club and there are many eager new players, you just have to do what you got to do. But if you can, try to break to smaller groups and encourage new people to DM. But in the end, if players want to play with high-level DMs, then they would also need to put in the work too. Because no matter how good a DM is, it is impossible to run great games if the players are just too uncooperative. There is a limit to a DM's energy. If they have to spend too much effort trying to pick up all the falling pieces, then they won't have enough energy to improve and develop their own style. The highest level DMs are the ones supported by great players. Before you use this scale to judge your DMs with, maybe you should think about what kind of DMs do you want your DM to be, and ask them how you can support them so you can all get the experience you want. Think about it. Okay, that's it. CJ over and out.